You are a naive Australian boy going out to Gallipoli to fight for your country. 12 months later, you arrive home to enter the first Anzac Day, commemorating your efforts. There was a slim chance you were going to come back, but you did. But the horrors you had to witness, the hardships you endured, and the friends you lost, that was your sacrifice to allow Australia to be the way it is now. The day is celebrated Australia-wide, but there are those who believe the day does not. But there are those who believe the day should not be celebrated the way it is now, as the day does not hold the importance to be celebrated. Well, I disagree. I believe this day does hold the importance to be celebrated. Anzac Day is a part of Australian history. This event is as important as the First Fleet or the 1969 referendum for Aboriginal rights. For those who may not know, the 25th of April commemorates the day Australians and New Zealanders formed an allied expedition to capture Gallipoli Peninsula. The campaign lasted 8 months. The word Anzac is an acronym for Australian and New Zealand Army Corps, and the men who fought there were known as the Anzacs. As you might know, the Gallipoli campaign was a great failure, as we lost battle. People who disagree with Anzac Day usually say this. But win or lose, the Gallipoli campaign signified a time when 6 states and 2 territories stood together as one people, one force, one country. Today our country took the call to arms and joined our allies across the sea. The day we joined is something bigger than ourselves. The Anzacs today take great pride in serving in such an important time in our country's history. These men represented the Australian spirit to its maximum. To be called an Anzac is a great honor, and a well-deserved one. Another argument people against Anzac Day say is that Anzac Day might have been relevant 50 years ago, but is not now. But the Australian spirit that this Australian spirit carries on through people, living in those who remember. To get rid of this day make us lose something important to us. Now, all the men who fought in the war did not all come back in one piece, and some did not come back at all. The war took a tremendous amount of lives for both sides. Over 8,700 Australians were lost. These are 8,700 grandfathers, fathers, husbands, boyfriends, sons or brothers, who deserve their sacrifices to be remembered. They paid their life for us. They paid their lives so we could be what we could be here now. This is the least we could do for them. This will also reassure their families that their loved ones' sacrifices was not in vain. As I said before, there were numerous casualties on both sides of the war, and Anzac Day shows that war is good for nothing. It serves as both a reminder of why we should not have wars, but also as a way to show how our relation with Turkey, or generally any country we were against in the world wars, have progressed since then. Now, as you can see with your own eyes, many of the people who make up this country aren't from here. They've crossed seas to start a new life in our great country. But there is a period of getting used to the traditions of a new country. After all, those are really what makes every country special. For these new Australians not only to witness the event, but to be immersed, to be part of our tradition, we can allow others to join our history, to join our country. Around this time, we learn a lot about what happened on the 25th of April 1915, and what the men fought for. To scrap Anzac Day will remove an important part of Australian history and remove this immersion that we all get. Now, to finish, I would like to ask you a question, and take some time to think about this. What is it to be Australian? Is it to celebrate a win like other countries, or to celebrate the importance of a time, regardless of the outcome? Is it to join in our traditions and remember the sacrifices that men made to let us live like we do? Is it to see a former enemy and extend the long arm of friendship and forgiveness. Anzac Anzac Day is an Australian day. Do you really want to remove all this history and importance from the calendar?